Good morning. It's Matt with Dyno Guys. It's time for shotgun. Being that we're on a roll with cams, there's so much confusion about basically bolt-in cams, which is best for each displacement of engine. Let's go through that. If you have a 107, you got a couple of choices. You can either shoot for the moon with torque, or you can go for horsepower. A 107 really isn't ever going to put out a bunch of torque. It's kind of my view, what's the point when you can go for a little bit more horsepower and spend a little bit more on a throttle body and a good exhaust system. Do it. So let's go with that. If you've got a 107 and you're never gonna upgrade that thing, it's always gonna be a 107. You ride with a passenger, you probably don't have the greatest exhaust system in the world. Go with the CR480 MT. It's the most forgiving, and that's going to be a low mid cam. That's going to give you as much torque as possible down low with increased power up top. On 107s, I'm finding between 110 and 113 horsepower with the CR480 MT. Torque usually ends up coming in between 100, depending on the exhaust system, between 122 foot-pounds of torque and 100. I've had as much as 128. Now conversely, and that's with stock throttle body, stock injectors on a 107. Now if you want to shoot for the moon and get a little bit more out of that 107 for a little bit more spirited ride, say that you're bouncing off the rev limiters, you're trying to keep up with your buddy's 131s, you're going to end up having to really ride that bike hard. So if you want to ride her hard and put her up wet and put a CR470 in that 107, you're going to have to get a +4 pinion advanced gear. Andrews makes them. There's a number of people that sell them. I don't have any in stock currently right now, but anyways, 4-degree advance on there on that 470 cam. Do a Screaming Eagle 64mm throttle body or an HPI 62, and as long as you're doing that, you might as well upgrade the injectors. It's a 107, so I would just do like Screaming Eagle 5.5s with the Screaming Eagle 64. That's going to be your best value. And then do a good 2-into-1 exhaust system. Do not do this package if you're going to try to keep your true duals. Just don't. So you're going to have to get a good 2-into-1 exhaust system, like D&D 2-into-1 with a Vortex baffle, or the Chromeworks Dominator with their auxiliary baffle. The Vance & Hines Pro Pipe works well. The Bassani works pretty well too, the Bassani Mid. The S Diamondback, if you put the decibel reducer in, that Diamondback, if you take that decibel reducer out, that turns that pipe into total garbage. It may sound good, but it tunes like total crap. So that's, but you put that decibel reducer in there and now you've got a quality exhaust system. So if you're going that horsepower route with the 107 with that 470 cam and everything I laid out, now you're looking at basically a 120 engine, which is very formidable. It accelerates really fast. It's fun to ride. So that's, I can hear people screaming, why the 4-degree advance key? Because you're trying to get as much cranking compression into that engine. By doing so, you're going to advance that cam 4 degrees so it closes 4 degrees sooner. So instead of a 40 degree, it's going to be dropping the intake valves at 36. That also advances the exhaust, which helps with top end horsepower. So it's kind of a 1-2 combination punch with that 107 and the 4 3/8 stroke. You can kind of get away with a little bit more because that engine's going to accelerate faster than that 114 or 117 with the 4.5-inch stroke. So that's how you can cheat that a little bit. So those are my two choices for the 107. Now let's go up to 114 Milwaukee 8. 114 Milwaukee 8. It's a little different animal. It's a little more forgiving, and So let's get into it. If you're a touring rider, you got a heavy bagger, you're not a hot rodder, get the CR 480, the 480 MT. MT stands for monster torque, maximum torque, whatever you want to say there. But that's what it is. With that cam, with a stock intake manifold and stock injectors and a cat in your header and a good set of slip-on mufflers, you're going to be right around 113 horse, 114 horse with your 114. With catted up setup and stock intake manifold and stock injectors, you're going to be around 130 foot-pounds of torque. Anytime that I upgrade the 114 and 117s, I put heavy-duty clutch springs in these bikes, because once you get up to about 126 to 127 foot-pounds of torque, your factory clutch starts giving you the middle finger and starts slipping. Is it bad enough that you'll feel it on the street? Not yet, most likely, but if you're looking for a pretty dyno graph, upgrade those clutch springs. It's a cheap deal. It's a 10-minute process. It's just worth it, and it gives that clutch a whole much better, more positive feel. So that's one of the things I really like to do. It's probably why you look at my dyno sheets versus many others. Everyone always comments, Matt, how come your dyno sheets always look so clean, so smooth? That's one of my tricks. So put some good clutch springs in there, because these novice tuners that are out there, there's so many of them, and they gotta learn somewhere. But they're gonna be sitting there pounding the piss out of your bike, trying to get these little ripples out of your dyno graph by tuning, when they're not paying attention to what the clutch is doing. So most of the time, a lot of those ripples, when they're trying to do their textbook flat AFR tuning, that doesn't work, by the way, they're gonna totally overlook the clutch, and they're gonna blame the exhaust system, blame this, blame that, when it was a set of $30 clutch springs that was holding them up for hours. So there's that. I'm gonna get off that rant. With the 114, if you want a hot rod sound, put that 483 in that bike. That's gonna make any exhaust system louder, that 483, because of the way that Wes has that thing stretched out. So any exhaust system that you currently have on the bike, if you don't want it to get much louder, don't put the 483 in. But if you want that bike to sound like a top fuel dragster, then go ahead, put that 483 in there. But if your wife complains that your motorcycle's too loud already, don't put the 483 in, unless you really don't want her riding with you. So then go ahead, put the 483 in and get your divorce papers ready. So there's that. With the 483 and a 114 and 117, there's not a huge power difference between those engines, so that's why I'm just going to group them together. You're going to have probably between 115, and I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to put a 55 millimeter aluminum intake manifold on that almost always, because that cam likes it. And I'm going to upgrade the injectors with a 114, 117, a minimum of 5.5s. I prefer 6.2 Daytona Twin Techs. You're going to end up between 118 horse and 122 horsepower with that cam, and you're going to be between 130 and 135 foot-pounds of torque. That's just an average, run-of-the-mill everything. No real special exhaust or anything like that. If you've got a better exhaust system, now you're pushing 140 foot-pounds of torque. About the same horsepower, but yeah, it's a real spirited ride. It's fun. If you don't want that loud exhaust note, and more of an aggressive rider, that 485, the Alpha Performance 485, that works really well. That's a super versatile cam. So got a touring bike, and you put that in there, that's going to start coming on real strong, about 3,000 RPMs, and it's going to pull your arms all the way to red line. That cam is super versatile, so if you do a big bore kit at a later date, that cam can grow with you. Any other cams can too. However, if you're getting super big, like you plan on doing a 131, the 480, I don't think is a good match. You can only connect so much torque to the ground, so that engine can handle a little bit longer cam. So 43, I really like. But anyways, back to that 485. 485, that thing is very formidable. Now you put a big bore kit behind that thing and a millimeter throttle body, and say you do some like +1 Screaming Eagle heads or any other reputable head, now you're up in that 150 range without really trying, and that's with just a 485 cam. So it works well. And then also that 485 cam we talked about yesterday, you get pretty decent gas mileage with that thing. The fuel economy with that cam, everyone just reports a little bit better fuel economy with that cam. So, and it's pretty smooth. It's not super lopey. So you guys that enjoy smooth idle and everything like that, or stir idle, the 45 does work well. Jumping the Screaming Eagle 131 motors, or maybe you've already got a 124 or 128 or a 132 and you high lift valve springs in your heads. Now let's get into some other cams. The Cyclorama 512 cam was specifically made for the 131s. That cam, when I tune it up with a run-of-the-mill exhaust system, it ends up between 142 and 147 horsepower, and usually need 155 foot-pounds of torque in that 131. 124s, it's gonna be between 135 to 140 horse, and you're gonna be between 145 and 150 foot-pounds of torque. 120, you're gonna be a couple points higher than that. If you do head work with that, those numbers could go up, but you have to push the compression ratio up a little bit, because the 512, I think, closes at like 41s on the intake side. The next cam is the Alpha Performance CR 515. That is nothing but a high lift 485. It was made to take advantage of you guys that have the high lift valve springs in these bigger engines. So it's going to do everything the 45 does, but it's going to carry the horsepower out a little bit longer because you got a little bit more lift. With that cam in a Screaming Eagle 131, you're going to be a 150 machine pretty much all day long without even trying. It really works good. 124s and 128s, you're basically going to be the displacement difference less than that 131. So 24s and 128s, again, there's not a huge difference in power between those engines a lot of times. We're just going to round it off right around 145 horsepower and around 150 to 155 foot-pounds of torque. It does work really, really well. The rest of the cams, I'm not going to get into because they're very specialized, and it's just going to make your head spin even more than it probably already is. So, going to be heading to Minnesota this weekend. My son, it's his first year deer hunting, so I am going up there, so I won't be around the rest of this week. So if you need to get a hold of me, I'm probably not going to be available. I'm going to be freezing in a tree in Minnesota deer hunting. So the rest of you that are going deer hunting this weekend for opener up there, good luck to you, and see you around. Take care, everyone.